Harmony is one of those things where you sort of have to follow your instinct and trust your gut, but there are some things that you can do every time to make sure that that harmony really lands the way you want it to. Hey, what's up? I'm Courtney. I'm a voice coach, and this is Insta Technique, the series where I bring you interesting, actionable info to make your voice sound the way you want it to. Now, before we get started, I just want to say that your first voice lesson is always free. 25-minute intro session for free. So if you've been looking for a voice coach, look no further. Send me a DM or click that link in my bio and we will get you set up with your first lesson and get your voice sounding exactly the way you want it to for your music. Today I'm talking about 4 things that you can do if you want your music to have amazing harmony. Now, there are different kinds of harmony and there are different approaches to harmony depending on what kind of music you're singing, what genre, what style. That's all okay. These are general tips and you can take them or leave them, but I am including things that I generally think are true no matter what. First of all, make the melody the star. This seems obvious, but it's very, very easy as somebody who is new to arranging their own music and is trying to add a bunch of extra stuff to make it sound cool, or somebody who is in a group with multiple vocalists and you really want to add all of that amazing stuff that you've got, and it's really easy to go overboard. The most important thing you can do as a harmony singer and a harmony arranger is let the melody shine, let the lyrics shine, make sure that everything about that lead vocal gets to be the star. So how do you make the melody the star? There's a couple different things you can do. If you're all singing live, you just need to know how to back off. If you are singing like around one microphone, if you're in a bluegrass group where you're around one microphone, that's one of my favorite things about a lot of bluegrass bands is that they perform around one mic. I love that. And one of the great things about that is that you put the lead singer right next to the mic and then everybody else is sort of like behind them. So it sort of naturally takes care of that, who is going to be more up front and center. Or if you are in a band where everyone has their own microphone and you've got your own backup singer section, you probably have a front of house sound engineer who's going to be mixing that so that it sounds right up front. So everybody can give their full vocal performance and be everything that they can be, and your engineer is just as important part of your band as the singers, and they are making sure everything is leveled and balanced exactly how it's supposed to be. Same thing happens in the studio. You can really go for it in the studio because you can mix everything the way you want it to sound. It's just going to depend on your situation, and you have to know how to adjust and be flexible. That's one of the most important parts of being a singer or any kind of musician, is knowing how to go with the flow and do what the situation calls for. Number 2, if you are singing with a group of people and not just doing your own harmonies on a recording, you need to agree, and even if you are doing your own harmonies on a recording, it's important to think about this. You need to agree on, will there be vibrato and will there be no vibrato? This is going to depend largely on the genre. If you're going for something like a big gospel choir sound, then the vibrato is going to be a huge part of what makes that sound like a big gospel choir. But if you're going for something simple, and again, you're just trying to let that melody, that lead vocal shine through, I generally tend to lead toward no vibrato on the harmony. You want that lead vocal to add that vibrato when it feels right, when a note needs to grow and blossom and bloom. And if the harmony vocals are sort of like all over the place on where they have the vibrato, it becomes distracting. You just want the notes, you want the texture, you don't want the waves of the vibrato. If you've also got someone singing background vocals for you that they're kind of riffing in the background and it's not truly a harmony vocal, then yeah, let them go for it. Or if that's you, go for it. There's a time and a place, and this isn't going to be like all or nothing, but just make sure that you're making very, very intentional choices. Make sure what you're doing sounds right, and again, this goes back to making the melody the star. So make sure you're not distracting from that melody and that lead vocal. Number 3, don't push or strain. I'm not saying don't get big. Again, this is going to depend on the genre and the style, how big or how small you want these harmony vocals to be. But don't push them or strain them, because what will happen is that with a push, I tend to think of that as going sharp. A lot of extra air, it makes the pitch go over, and a strain, like trying to grab onto a note, tends to make it go flat. And neither one of those things is anything you want on harmony. You don't want it on melody either, but you can get away with it more on melody. Harmony has to be spot on. The whole point of harmony is to make the melody sound good. And if you're out of tune, you're going to make the melody sound bad, even if the melody's awesome. Your tone quality does not matter as much. I'm not saying it doesn't matter. I'm saying it matters less than getting the note right in this case. And finally, blend your vowels. This is an old choir trick that I know. If one person is singing oh, very pure, round oh, with the corners of the mouth tucked in, and another person singing oh, you can hear they sound different. They sound different. Your vowels make your voice sound different. And that is going to be problematic in harmony. It's going to make them very hard to tune. They're going to sound out of tune, even if technically they are spot on pitch-wise. This is hard outside of classical music, because in classical music, you just go straight for the pure vowel. That's the rule. Pop music doesn't go for the pure vowels. Pop music is about individuality. It's about the lead vocal. It's about making the lead vocal shine. What you should do, if you have the opportunity, is sing while you watch each other. If we have a lead vocal and harmony singers, the harmony singers should be watching the mouth of the lead singer. It's really that simple. Because what tends to happen is that you watch someone else's mouth and you match it. Now, the lead singer can watch the harmony singer's mouths too. That would help them blend even further, but we want to make sure that that lead singer gets to keep being the lead and lead the style. And so if we're singing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, I'm doing that very classically, nice tall vowels. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Everybody should be watching that ah and matching the ah. If I'm going twinkle, twinkle, little star, star, you can tell it's not as, I'm doing country, and it's not as tall. It's kind of like flat and this way instead of this way. And that's what needs to be emulated. When you are on stage and the backup singers are back here and the lead singer's up front and you can't watch their mouth, that's where your rehearsal comes in. You should have been rehearsing this, and you should pretty well know by now what everybody else is doing. The matching the vowels, the watching each other, that's for rehearsal, and performance is for trusting that rehearsal did its job. All right, I will see you next time. Bye.